Magical production.
Hello everyone, my name is Kelvin Imbwaga, a student from ZTech University pursuing Communication and Media Studies. So today we are doing a feature story at Ruiru Rehabilitation Center, and we have a great pleasure of being invited here and joining our friend and a caregiver at this center, Mr. Alfred Arega. Habari yako?
Nzuri sana.
Okay, thank you for the invite, for receiving our invite. So, how is the going?
First of all, it's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Kelvin, into our facility. And this is a home away from home, where the kids are here. We can be able to give them hope, and therefore we delight in visitors. So you're much welcome for being part of this ministry. And of course, we're keeping on, pushing on, trying to make sure that now the kids, they get the best care and the love, and of course, they become the great men and women in the society.
What inspired you to start this foundation?
This home started by the reason of the need for the high number of street children in Ruiru town, and therefore Mr. Kimani started now as a feeding program for those children, giving them food 3 days in a week. But over the time, he also came and realized that some of them, they didn't have shelter, and that is how he rescued them from the streets and put them at one of these structures in Toll. And the numbers grew over time, and it came to a point that he needed now to have more people to come on board and be able to support, because the resources could not be able to sustain. And that's how people came on board and be able to support, and they registered it as a Ruiru Rehabilitation Center, with the main mission of rescuing all the street children from Ruiru town. And then the place was very small. They did a fundraiser that was in 2006. And then they went to buy a piece of land in Bypass. They stayed in Bypass for a couple of years from 2006 up to 2010. And when Thika Supply was constructed, it opened up Bypass area and became so busy in terms of mushrooming of industries. And that's how they sold it. And they came also to buy the current place that we are in. So we've been here now for all those years, taking care of children who are defiled, who have been physically assaulted, abandoned, neglected, those that have come from very destitute families. So those are the categories of the kids that we are giving care.
Okay, so roughly how is the population around?
Okay, so since it started, we've got more than 200 alumni that are standing independently on their own feet. But currently we have 35 resident children from 4 years to 15 years, and those ones, they stay here completely because they are primary going school children. But you have the ones that are in high school, 24 of them, all of them that are in boarding schools. And we have 7 in tertiary level. So as you calculate, you find that we have 65 children under our care as we speak right now.
Okay. So what about the experience around? What experience do you have when dealing with these children?
I've had so many experiences dealing with the children. One thing I've really come to, get satisfaction and fulfillment, because having the children coming here that are hopeless, that they've been really hurt, and you come and give them a shoulder where they can be able to put their head on and be able to be consoled and feel cared for. You find that they amazingly do well in their studies and also in their talents, that whatever that the God has gifted them. Because I've seen among the alumni and even the ones in high school, they came here very devastated, but they are very jovial within no time, because we have an environment where they heal completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
What inspired you to the position of being a caregiver at this center?
All right. My inspiration stems from that urge and calling to be able to care for the children, because personally I've grown or raised in a very humble background, and I was helped with other people to be able to be where I am. So that is what has really been my heart, to be able also to be a blessing to other children who have not been given care and that love in the community. And therefore, that's why I found myself being part of this institution. Even before coming here, I used to tutor in so many schools because I really wanted just to be actively involved with the activities of the children and be able to talk to them, mentor them, so that they can be able to realize their dream in life and become the best version of themselves.
Now, we know you have children from different setups and different backgrounds right here. So how do you handle challenging situations among these children?
Okay, fine. We have what we call the case management. So for the case management, it will be able to help us to usually come up with what we call ICCP. That is, in full, is individual child care plan. So for individual child care plan, you're coming up and doing the assessment of that particular child and their families. So you're finding out what are the needs and the gaps. And then once we do that, we come up with the interventions and the actions that will be able to meet the needs of that particular child. And in most cases, if we cannot be able to meet a particular need of a child, we do referral. We have the counselors, they can be able to come and talk to the children. We can have people maybe who are very vast or professional in terms of mental health. They can be able to come and talk to the children. If it is sports-wise, you also have people from other institutions coming also teaming with us to be able to make sure that their needs are being met. If it is maybe sickness or critical illness or learning disability or difficulties, we do the referral to those particular institutions that will be able to support them. Yeah.
How do you handle situations of emergency and crisis around?
We have different contacts for different emergencies. So once we've created a good rapport with them, so once we have any emergency case, we just do contacting them, and they're always ready to be able to respond immediately to our emergency need. Yeah.
And what's the impact of parents or guardians to these children?
Okay, so we also do parent or guardian involvement in the upbringing of their children, because at the end of the day, these children are not going to stay here for the rest of their life. They'll have to come to a point that they need to go back to their family. So as you are working with the children, we also work also with the parents. So for now, we usually invite them to be able to come and visit their children, have a conversation with them, especially over the weekends. They can also come and also help in some other chores like sorting the cereals, helping in cooking, washing, so that they also feel part of caring and upbringing of their children. Yeah.
And on the same case, how is the social economic development of these children? As you just said, the parents come and assist in cause in doing some cause here. How about the children? How is their social development?
Okay. All right. So for the children, we have the social aspect of it. So we have a couple of programs that you take our children through, and one of the program is the talent. So we are able to give them a space where they are able to showcase their talents, and those talents are being nurtured. And through involving or engaging them in those activities, the games, the talents. We also have the farm there. So you'll find that they are getting to interact with each other and be able to work as a team. And that one is actually building on their social skills, because at the end of the day, the social skills are very, very important for them. And we usually also have the visitors also coming. We also allow them also to interact with those visitors. We also have mentorship program. So the mentorship program is also not only building on their thinking capacity or even creating the self-awareness, it's also building on their social skills. So we find that they're really outgoing. So the moment they're coming in, they're very reserved and withdrawn. But over the time, once we take them through these programs, we find that they are ready to interact and participate in activities with other children or with other people. And then on the side of also maybe economic, we're also trying to figure out, yes, we've not yet really rolled out, but we're trying to figure out how can we also to empower their guardians, because the children, they belong to the community, they belong to the family. So you want now, when you are integrating them back to their families, at least you will try to improve their status at home. Yeah.
And maybe in terms of, let's say, in terms of challenges, what are some of the challenges faced from the outside community or the neighboring community?
The challenges faced in the neighboring, because these children, once you are here, it means there are push factors. So it means there is a challenge in the community. And you find that in the challenges in the community, one thing, they lack, the parenting skills. Some of them, they just decide to abuse the children or to assault them, to beat them thoroughly, because they lack that knowledge on how to effectively discipline their children and in the right manner. So it's something that you're also working together with the children officer and their officers as well. How can we be able also to visit the churches and be able to talk to the churches and be able to tell them the best way of doing that, of disciplining the children, on how to also respond to the issues that they are emerging among the children, because things are changing. The way you used to discipline the children the yesteryears is not the way you're supposed to discipline the children right now. Then another challenge is also high rate of unemployment. So you'll find that the guardians of the parents, they are not in a position to be able to provide the needs for the children. So the children, they end up now going to the street and start now begging. And then apart from that, you also have the issue of drug abuse as well around. You'll find that they'll end up, using the, drinking alcohol, smoking, bang, and all those kind of drugs that they abuse. So it ends up also affecting their children as well. And you'll also find at times you also have a community that is not cooperative. They're not really ready to be able to raise and take care of their children. So you'll find that in an instance, maybe a single parent dying and leaving the children in the extended family. And the extended family, they're not ready to be able to they just run into a children home and place those children in a children home. So they don't understand that it's very vital for them to be able to raise their own children. So those are some of the challenges that we get from the community. But we are trying to demystify that perception, and we hope in the long run we'll be able to achieve our goal of sensitizing the community and also the families to take care of the children on their own.
Okay, so in terms of achievement, where do you see this center in years to come?
The years to come, we are seeing that we are going to fully be supporting the children in their own home or in the community, because you want to have incremental support. And for us to be able to do that, we need more resources, of which we are trying to pitch, help, to request or to appeal for help, so that you can be able to assist as many children as possible. So that is where we are heading. We want to really support the children from their homes, and once we do that, we'll support as many children as possible. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Alfred Alega, for having us around. It has been a great pleasure to us, and for sharing the insightful story behind Ruiru Rehab Center. And before we wind up, maybe can you kindly tell us, maybe if you need donations and support, where do we find you, or how do we go about it?
Yeah, so we are very grateful for coming and visiting us and be able to get to know of what we do, because that comes from a heart that is full of love, and that is what we basically need here. So we invite all the people from the community, friends, families, to come and be able to team together with us, so that you can be able to give care to these children and they are able to get all the needs. So thank you so much, and I hope now to be seeing people coming on board and being part of this initiative.
All right. Hi, what is your name?
My name is David Munio.
So Munio, when did you join this institution?
I joined this institution back in 2008 when it was located at Bypass.
Okay. So currently, what are you doing?
Currently, I'm a student at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, pursuing a degree in actuarial science.
All right. And what is your experience?
My experience so far, I can say it has been fantastic. the support I have been given throughout the years, this level now I am at the university.
Wow, that's great. So what are your last words to the audience outside there?
My final words to the audience outside there is to help kids in such institutions, to give them a chance to be better, to better themselves, to build their careers, and they will come out there and be responsible members of the society.
Wow. Thank you everyone for joining us at Ruiru Rehabilitation Center. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Joey Tuku Production.